Hello everyone and welcome to Saturday Series. In other words, it's a series where I play a random game in my Steam library which I'd probably never play otherwise. This week it's called The Deed. There was a main menu that had like play options and quit or something. I didn't actually look at it. Had some cool music, but I accidentally, when I clicked it, just instantly went past it, and I hadn't got my watch. So yeah, anyway, I've got my watch now and we'll just start from here. So I'm going to play the intro. This is called The Deed. I will link it in the description. Alt-Enter full screen, already done that. I'm ahead of your game. F1 for game options. F12 resets the game. Oh, okay, here are the options. Excellent, I'll close that. Escape to access menu and inventory. Okay. I didn't see an interact button, which isn't helpful. I couldn't go down, by the way. Nothing seemed to move. Scotland, November 1945. We seem to be on a train. My name is Aaron Bruce, son of Malcolm Bruce, and rightful heir to Dunshill House. I have recently discovered that my tyrant of a father intends to disinherit me in favour of my deranged younger sister. My relationship with my family is strained, to say the least. I have decided that the time has come for my sister to be removed from this ghastly equation. I intend to put her out of her misery. Unfortunately, my sister never leaves the confines of Dunshill House, which makes the matter more complicated. I have not visited the family home in quite some time. I can't bear to be in that hellhole for long. However, my presence on the night of my father's 50th birthday will cause no suspicion. I must choose the time and the method of the deed very carefully. Tonight is the night. I go, and it is done. The bell invites me. Okay. So I think it's sort of like Clue, where you can choose a murder weapon. You have to murder her, and then you can frame someone else. So it's that kind of thing. Okay, I'm not controlling this. There we go. Do I control now? Bloody hell, George. Who has been responsible for maintaining the gardens? Used to be the big Jack Willis, sir. He's been dead almost a year now. I do a little here and there. Can't do much on account of my bad back, though. My sister hasn't offered to help you, then? Miss Jennifer isn't really the outdoor type, sir. I know, George. It was a joke. Very funny, sir. Let's go inside before the ocean comes to Dunshill. Yes, come on, George. Let's go. I might frame you. Homecoming. Converse with your relatives and search the house for useful objects. Objects are divided into two categories, items of evidence and weapons. You will only be able to pick up 2 objects from around the house before dinner commences, so choose wisely. After dinner, you'll have the chance to plant an item of evidence if you wish, and then commit the murder. There are many ways to do the deed, but only the cunning will succeed. Okay. Interesting. Good evening, Mr. Aaron. May I take your coat? I would rather keep my coat. Are you sure, Mr. Aaron? It looks soaked through. Quite sure. You're new, aren't you? Sophia is my name. I recognise you from your pictures, Mr. Aaron. I'm not new exactly. I've been employed by your family for almost a year. It's just that you've never visited before. I have been busy. Work keeps me very busy, unfortunately. I understand. I've been away from my family a lot since I started this job. You are here now, and I'm sure you are eager to meet with the others. Your father is in the library on your left, and your mother is in the parlour, which is on your right. Your sister is upstairs in her room. Thank you for your help, Sophia. You're very welcome, Mr. Aaron. I'll be in the kitchen preparing dinner. I'll sound the bell when dinner is served. So I can pick up 2 items. You can't leave now. There is work to be done. I'm not leaving. This is the library, is it not? She said to the left was the... whatever. So she's going to the kitchen. Okay. The wooden side table is currently empty. One of your mother's prized golden candlesticks sits at the elegant centre of the table, which certainly make for an elegant traditional murder weapon. I'll leave it where it is for now. I won't pick it up since I can only pick up 2 items at the moment. Let's investigate the upstairs because there seems to be less rooms actually. What's in here? Your parents' room has not changed in years. It remains a frozen time capsule of a childhood you would sooner forget. You go through your wardrobe and find nothing apart from clothes and your mother's excessive collection of jewellery. Okay. Can I use that to strangle someone? It is only once you slide the top drawer open that you remember this is where your father keeps his shotgun. The shiny barrel almost seems to call out to you. Guns are certainly noisy but efficient weapons. Oof. I can just shotgun her. It's just an old chair. Oh, he doesn't want to move. Oh, am I having a... Is the chair haunted? Oh, it's a memory. Okay, I see. George said you wanted to see me, Mother. Yes. Your sister will not be returned to St. Mary's this year, Aaron. Her condition has become too serious. I see. Have you nothing to say besides that, Aaron? No, nothing. This is precisely what I wanted to talk to you about. This silly feud with your sister must stop. Why do you think her condition keeps getting worse? Perhaps it's because you refused to even acknowledge her. She killed Henry. For heaven's sake, Aaron, it was only a rat. He was my friend. I should never have allowed you to keep it in the first place. If you must blame someone, blame me. Will you forgive your sister? Never. Very well, Aaron. You leave me no choice. I will have to speak to your father about this. So, I'm angry at her about a rat? Far too many memories come back because of this house. Interesting. So there's a shotgun and a candlestick. You get on all four. Nothing underneath. Okay. This all-night lamp is of no use to you. Well, okay. Another of your mother's blasted plants. Yikes. A familiar portrait of your great-uncle, Thomas Bruce, who was a highly respected author. You enter the surreal atmosphere of your sister's room. Mirrors of various sizes cover the walls, creating the eerie illusion of a crowded space. Aha! I thought I smelled a rat. Have you come to see me, little rat? How are you feeling? Hello, Jennifer. How have you been? How have I been? What an odd thing for a little rat to ask. Normally they say squeak, squeak. Well, she's a bitch. You used to have a pet rat, didn't you? Remember what I did to him? Oh, how he squeaked. Such great pain for such a little creature. What do you want to talk to me about, little rat? Mother says your condition has been getting worse. I haven't talked to her, but okay. My condition? What condition? I don't have a condition. You don't want to have to send me away, don't you? Well, it won't work. I won't, I tell you. Go away. I don't want to speak to you anymore. Well, okay. I'm checking under your bed to see if there's a murder weapon. Nothing under there. Ornate clocks are your sister's third love, right behind mirrors and cruelty. Right. She does collect a lot of mirrors, doesn't she? Yikes. Your sister is too busy staring herself in the mirror to notice you rifling through her wardrobe. With her initials embroidered in, so plan in the right place. These might weave a tale of their own. Ooh. Okay, so I guess I can plan those on someone to make it look like it was a sexy murder. Ooh. You look at your reflection in the mirror. Funny, you don't look much like a murderer. Oh no, another flashback. Mother says dinner is ready. Go away, little rat. Jennifer, what are you doing? Why do you stare at your reflection like that? Stop making fun of me. I'm not making fun of you. I really want to know. I just wish that... What, Jennifer? What do you wish? I wish you'd go drain a lake. Wow. Mother is waiting for you. Okay, I don't blame me now. What is the condition though? My sister's obsession with mirrors goes right back to her childhood. I never did understand why. So inside your former bedroom, now a simple guest room. Most of your old furniture has vanished, probably thrown on a bonfire, knowing your father. There is at least one arm of yours remaining in your former room, your old fencing sword. At least it's the weapon with which you are very well practiced. Okay, you have to sit around. So you got a shotgun, a candlestick, and a sword. I'm assuming the panties or the undergarments, sorry, are not a murder weapon per se. I think they're evidence. This wardrobe is vacant and barren. No, nothing in there. Okay. Cool, I don't think there's much else upstairs. Okay, well we won't do the shotgun because that's very loud and that will draw much attention, which I do not want. How exactly do we get down here? Oh, we can go like that. Okay, that's not very entirely clear. There's nothing on this old lectern. An assortment of family records and heirlooms are contained within this ornate glass cabinet. We're going to have another flashback, right. I don't know. Of course you do. Use that head for once, boy. Great Uncle Thomas? What initials do you see on that silverware? CB. And what kind of half-wit spells Thomas with a C? I don't know. Well, I do. It's the kind of half-wit that's staying next to me. Now, which of your ancestors own that silver chalice? If you get this one wrong, there will be serious consequences, boy. I'll say one thing for my father. His style of parenting has always been consistent. Decided that now is not time for lounging around. There is work to be done, i.e. a murder. I know these books interest you. You manage to force open the locked drawer of the writing desk. Inside you find pages of poetry penned by your sister. They seem to be love letters penned to an unidentified female. From descriptions you would guess it's the new maid. Ooh. Okay, so we have another bit of evidence. So that's against the maid, okay. What's in here? This is a groundskeeper's cupboard. George seems to have left it open among the various household art tools. You spot a thick length of rope. Strangulation is certainly trying to test a method of murder. It's also a quiet one. The dusty old wine cellar is where your father likes to practice billiards. The laundry room is next door, and beyond that, the servants' quarters. Okay. Billiards cue. We could. So is that's a murder weapon, I guess. You find nothing in these drawers. 2 pairs of shoes, freshly polished. Wooden broom. Breaking into might be a useful weapon. Okay. There's nothing here but wet laundry. There's nothing here but wet laundry. Nothing of interest there. A broken mirror sits upon the maid's desk. Odds are it belongs to your sister, and the maid has been hiding here after accidentally breaking it. A shard of glass from the mirror would be a poetic murder weapon. It certainly would. There is nothing in these drawers but clothes belonging to the maid. The maid's bed is immaculately well made. Well, we could frame the maid for the murder. But she seemed nice, so I don't think we'll do that. But we could use the letters in the mirror shard to do it. The father always kept an impressive amount of wine stocked in his house. Oh, what was in the upper room actually? Because there was 2 doors. I can't remember which one went in. I think I only have one. Yes, there's a guy in here. This is certainly not time for seeing around. Can't go around your fridge or drawers while he's watching you. Oh, hello, sir. What can I do for you? You seem quite distressed about something. I do? Well, I'm sure it's nothing you should trouble yourself with. My main concern is that you're pacing around down here while you should be helping the maid in the kitchen. That's just it, sir. The new maid doesn't like me helping her with anything. She's very domineering. She won't even let me into the kitchen while she's preparing meals. I tried discussing the matter with your mother, but it's no use. She hasn't been herself lately either. But please don't trouble yourself about it, sir. I probably shouldn't have said anything at all. This new maid is quite domineering then. She didn't seem that way to me. She is subtle in her ways, but mark my word, she wants to be running this house. Perhaps it's no coincidence that your sister's mental health has become worse since Sophia arrived. I haven't seen anything out of the ordinary yet, but I have my suspicions. She is as cold, as heartless a woman as I have ever known. Excellent. Okay, we're going to frame the maid. After we check out everything, we'll go and grab that, and then we can frame the maid. Because she seems like a right old bat. So you made it, Aaron. Forgive me if I don't understand. Your mere presence has almost given me a heart attack. Hello, Mother. Please sit down if you want to talk properly, Aaron. I don't want to cram my neck looking up at you. So, Aaron, you finally managed to make it up here for a visit. Please tell me you aren't here to cause trouble. I'm here to make amends. No, Mother, I'm not here to cause trouble. Quite the opposite. Oh, our family's been dysfunctional for a long time, and I have to take some responsibility for that. For what it's worth, I apologise for any stress that my behaviour has caused you over the years. I see. You'll forgive me if I'm a little sceptical about this sudden change in your attitude, Aaron. However, if we can get through today without any drama, then I would appreciate it. Have you been up to see your sister yet? She has been going through an unusually difficult time recently. I'd rather not talk about her. Jennifer and I still have nothing to say about one another. You really do need to grow out of these silly feuds, both of you. They've been going on since you were children. You would be at each other's throats all the time back then, as I recall. By now you should have realised that she is your only sibling, that there are a few things more important than family. Anyway, you should go and talk to your father if you haven't already. Wish him a happy birthday. I would at least try to sound like you mean it. Okay. The most beloved of all your mother's possessions, her rusty old gramophone used to play all her favourite songs. Okay. You glance over your shoulder to make sure your mother isn't looking in the red book and there's this diary on the front. Okay, I'll leave it for now. Because I don't know what the diary has to... You want to make any phone calls. There's nothing especially notable about the fireplace. Okay, well where is Father? Walk into the pantry, begin to salivate. The promising scent of roast beef coming from the kitchen beyond. You find nothing interesting in the drawers on top of the cabinet. However, you see a blue box marked rat poison. Oh. So maybe there's 2 ways to frame the maid. Let's talk to the maid first before we worry about that too much. You have no reason to interfere with that. It seems the maid's left sharp kitchen knife untended. How foolish of her. You don't think you'll be needing any bread. Why, I can't murder my sister with bread? Oh, hello, Mr. Aaron. Is there something I can do for you? I want to ask you something about your time. I want to ask you something about working for my family. I'm concerned that my father's bad temper doesn't seem to improve much over the years. Does he give you much abuse? I wouldn't call it... I accidentally clicked enter, by the way. He can certainly be a very demanding employer, but there's nothing wrong with that. I'm very grateful to have this position. I'm sorry, I must get back to work now. I'll ring when the dinner... But maybe... Support. She's obviously too busy for any more idle chatter, so that's it. Okay. Maybe we can do the rat poison. Are you sure you want to take the rat poison from Vico and only pick up 2 objects? Yes, let's do it. And hide it on your person. Yes, poison is a nice clean weapon, at least in all those murder stories you used to read. We'll see how we go. We'll kill my sister with poison, and then we'll frame the maid with the notes. There we go. No, that's the rope. The notes are in the other room. I don't know where my father is the problem. I tried looking for him, but I haven't found him. Yes, take one of the poems. Yes, I'm sure. If I plan to write this, could raise an interesting question about the maid's relationship with your sister. That's the bell. Okay. It's time to dinner, it seems. Okay. Dinner is served, but I haven't had a chance to poison. Sophia, could you come here a moment? Yes, ma'am. Pour me some more wine. Yes, ma'am. But, madam, what is it, George? I must protest. It'll always be my duty to pour the wine at dinner. Oh, well, I don't want to cause any trouble. Nonsense. What does it matter, George? Stop being overly pedantic. But I... do you let the staff speak to you like that? Are you going to let George get away with his disobedience, mother? Of course not. You and I will have words after dinner, George. Yes, madam. Let your mother deal with it, would you? We don't need your interference. An interfering little rat, isn't he, Daddy? Yes, he is. Why can't you ever keep your mouth shut, boy? Now, don't lose your temper. Careful, father. There's no need to make a scene at dinner. I'll show you a scene. Get over here. Malcolm, please, let's not permit his behaviour to ruin dinner. Yes, I suppose you're right. You can count your lucky stars, boy. Sophia, could you come here, please? Yes, Miss Jennifer? I want to say that was the loveliest meal I've ever tasted. I don't know how you do it, you cunning pixie. You were too kind, miss. Of course, I'll have tea and cakes for you in the drawing room as usual after dinner. Oh, you were so good to me, you sweet thing. So very, very good to me. None for me, I'm full. I won't have any, thank you. I couldn't eat another bite. Well, you weren't offered any, so there. Please, Jeff, let's all try and be civil. Anyway, let's not forget why we're here today, to celebrate your father's birthday. Such a very important occasion for us all. I couldn't find him, though. You were so dear to us, Malcolm. Happy birthday, Daddy. Indeed, happy birthday, Father. Let's hope it'll be one to remember. Doing the deed. Now it is time to quickly plant any items of evidence you have. To do so, simply enter the desired room and select the item in your inventory. When you're ready, enter the drawing room to do the deed. Okay. So we shall go plant the evidence in the maid's room. Not that one, that's not the maid's room, that's George's room. And he has nothing to do with it. There's no reason to touch this right now, there's an urgent deed that needs... There is nothing in these drawers but clothes belong to the maid. How do I select an item? Items, here we go. So, come hither, thou sweet and flame-haired maiden. Let us play the games which have been forbidden in dusty old rooms of this home in which I live in. Come hither to me and do my sweet bidding. You find yourself unable to continue reading this poem. You're pretty sure that forbidden isn't a word and that the rest doesn't really rhyme. Do you want to plant this item of evidence in this room? Yes, I do. You decide to conceal this item underneath the maid's pillow. This ought to be quite incriminating. Yes, it shall. Haha, I don't even know if the maid's a bad lady, but she didn't, you know. I'm just going to take George's word. George seems like a cool dude. And then we got to go to the drawing room and we're going to poison her hotcakes. Yes, I am ready. You see Jennifer staring at the window ahead of you, lost in one of her strange moods. She hasn't noticed you enter the drawing room. Now is the time. Choose the murder weapon. Rat poison. Yes. The silent weapon of an intelligent killer sprinkled over the cakes on the table could easily be mistaken for frosting sugar. Having added a generous portion of your special top into the cake, you step back into the shadows and watch to make sure she eats them. Sure enough, she soon turns to the plate and devours two of them in quick succession. The poison works surprisingly quickly. She begins to choke and her skin turns green. Finally, she falls to the ground in front of you. You examine her body to make sure she isn't breathing before placing a container of poison on the desk. The deed is done. It's time to leave the room before someone discovers it. I shall be upstairs. When someone discovers the body, I shall be upstairs in my room, thinking about all the memories in here, including looking at my fencing sword. Maybe I should be... Oh no, it sounds like the deed has been discovered. Oh dear. No, I better run downstairs and find out what's happened. Okay. Good evening, everyone. I'm Chief Inspector Winston Lewis. I understand this is a difficult time for your family. You're damn right it is. I want to know what you're doing wasting time in here while my daughter's killer is still out there. Well, Mr. Bruce, we found no evidence of forced entry and nobody was seen entering or leaving the house. It would seem entirely possible then that the killer is in this room. What? No! That seems highly unlikely, Inspector. Perhaps it is, however, in order to follow protocol, I will have to interview each of you in turn. Mrs. Bruce, would you like to meet me in the library? I never found the library, sadly. The interview, here we go. Thank you for joining me in here, Mr. Bruce. I'm sure this won't take long. Before we begin, I'll need to search your person. Best to get these formalities out of the way. Is this really necessary? I'm afraid so. Turn around, please. Now that's out of the way, let's move on to the interview. As you know, I've already spoken to everyone else who was present in the house at the time of your sister's death. We also now complete our initial search of the house, but we'll get to that later. Let's start from the beginning, shall we? First of all, we will run through all of your activities since your arrival. The maid says that you and the butler arrived shortly after 7 o'clock and she greeted you at the door. She told me that you refused to give her your coat and she found that quite peculiar. I prefer to keep my possessions with me. I had a few things in my coat that I wanted to keep close to hand, my wallet, keys and such. I suppose that is reasonable. Let's move on. Later you went to speak to the maid again, which is curious. Why did you decide to visit the kitchen? To make sure my family was treating her well. I had some concerns about the way she was being treated. My family can be hard on the new staff sometimes. That seems like a good reason. I understand that until you spoke about your father and his temper. I had some concerns, but she set my mind at ease. I thought he might be making her life difficult, as it turns out I was completely wrong. I see. Later on you had a conversation with your mother, Gloria, in the parlour. She told me that you were unusually cordial. Something about wanting to apologise and make amends. I just wanted to avoid another argument. I wasn't being entirely honest with her, I just wanted to avoid an awkward evening. I see, that's understandable. Your mother says she attempted to bring up the topic of your sister, but you were unwilling to talk about her. I want to see my sister's condition for herself. I intend to observe my sister's condition for myself. I didn't trust that my mother would tell me the whole story. I suppose that's understandable. It seems odd to me that you didn't go and wish your father a happy birthday when you arrived. It makes me wonder what else you were doing that was so important. Well, I couldn't find him! I understand you spoke about the new maid, Sophia. The butler seems to have some concerns about her. He told me the new maid is a bully. He told me the new maid is very domineering. I was looking to force him out of his job. I believe cold and heartless were the words he used. I see, interesting. Did you speak to your sister before dinner? Yes, I did. Yes, I went to her room to see her. I see, and what did you discuss with her? We discussed her illness and her obsession. I spoke about her condition. I was aware that she was going through a particularly difficult time. Did she seem distressed to you? Yes, you could say that. She was not in a good place, mentally speaking. I see. Let's move out onto the events that took place during dinner. There was some trouble involving the butler, I gather. Apparently you were offended by his behaviour. I had just a little too much to drink. I mean, when I did click the thing to say, oh, you're going to let the servant speak to you like that, I thought that would be... Oh, I thought it meant, talking to, like, my mother saying, well, mother, would you like it if, the maid talked to you like she just... I don't know what I thought, I just didn't think it was gonna abuse George. I see, that's understandable. I gather that your father rather lost his temper at one point. Just the usual, he always loses his temper. There was nothing out of the ordinary. Your father often loses his temper at dinner? My father loses his temper no matter where he is. Now I need to ascertain your location at the time of your sister's death. Where were you when you heard the maid scream? Upstairs. I was in my old bedroom. I was in the guest bedroom. I see, thank you. As I said earlier, we've completed our initial search of the property. We found a poem written by your sister, which appears to clearly express romantic feelings towards the maid. Given that we found in the maid's room, we could be sure that she had read it. Perhaps it is proof that the two of them were involved in a secret relationship. That would make her a suspect. I'll certainly have more questions for her, at least. I'm curious about the murder weapon. The poison had apparently been sprinkled upon some cakes which the maid had prepared. However, you also must have passed through the pantry in order to speak to the maid in the kitchen. Of course, your sister may have done this herself if it was a suicide. It is all very interesting. I'll be completely honest with you now, Mr. Bruce. While some of your behaviour this evening has been peculiar, I can find no cause for any significant suspicion. While there is some suspicion regarding your father, I don't currently regard him as a serious suspect. But I feel quite certain that the maid isn't telling me something. Despite a condition, I believe your sister committed suicide. Now, as for what happens next, you can go for now, but I would appreciate it if you did not leave town. I may have more questions for you later. Next, I'm going to have to arrest a maid. A verdict of suicide seems unlikely, I'm afraid. Okay. Although the inspector harboured his own suspicions about you, Sophia May was treated as the prime suspect in the case. The evidence you had planned against her led to a trial and a swift conviction. The case caused quite a scandal in the national media, and Sophia gained a lot of unwanted celebrity in the process. She became known in the public imagination as the killer chambermaid. With no heirs remaining, your father reversed his plans to cut you out of his will. When your parents died, you inherited everything. Dungill House was yours, along with the fortune that came with it. However, George the butler found himself unable to continue serving in the place after what had happened. Okay. As you spent many long, sleepless nights wandering through the rooms of the house, you found that its emptiness was reflected within yourself. You had become hollow inside, free of everything but the nightmares that continued to haunt you. And there was a spooky scream. And that was the deed. Yeah, that was a short little game. Quite a little interesting game, I think. Now there are again, I couldn't find the library, so I'll probably play this again to see which other ways this can go. But so there's achievements for using specific murder weapons. There's achievements for framing certain people, and yeah, it's pretty interesting because there's a lot of different things you can do. So you could theoretically use the rat poison and then frame someone else, because the rat poison was very out in the open. But yeah, so it's interesting. There's probably a few combinations you could do. Yeah, no, that was the deed. I recommend you check this out. I can't remember how much it is. If I remember correctly, some people complain about the price compared to the length. I did get this for really cheap because I got it from a voucher, so I got like minus 70% off or something. Not minus 70%, I got 70% off, I think. So I'm not sure of the full price of this. But people, if I remember correctly, have kind of pointed out that the time it takes for one playthrough compared to the price is not really proportional. But the fact that there is a bit of replayability, I think it's probably worth it. I'll leave a link in the description so you can check it out yourself. Yeah, that was the deed. Thank you for watching, and goodbye.